Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. Friday, April 5th, 2024. This is my pre-market report. Before we even get started with that, let's talk about something else here. There are several resources that I want you to start to utilize. One of them is the IMF's website and the World Bank's website. Information that you need to know is always hidden in plain sight, and these are two resources where you can find out things that you're not supposed to know. Let's cover some of that. So this is right off of the IMF's website. Global debt is at a dangerously high level. I mean, can I get a duh here? Okay. Currently, the global debt to GDP ratio is 336%, over 336%. Now, this goes on to say, check this out, record debt levels have set many countries on a path to crisis. Another duh. This is stuff that you and I are aware of already, but this is where it gets interesting. Debt defaults can lead and will lead to panic in the financial markets. Look, imagine just for a minute here if CNBC, Bloomberg, Fox Business were to talk about this kind of stuff. They can't allow you to know. But again, here we have the truth hidden in plain sight. And this is by no means an accident that we are seeing the current situation here. I have been explaining that as a percentage of GDP, the global economy is cratering at its fastest pace ever. And I can promise you one thing. This is going to get a lot worse. Now, how do we know that? What's going on here? Well, a phenomenon that you and I, again, have called, and I believe before anybody else. War continues to expand. Now, I want to share a headline with you from this morning. This is CNBC. Read this to yourselves, or I'll read it for you. The NATO chief floats 100 billion, see that number? B, Euro fund for funding for the Ukraine war. What do you think about this? I've been telling people forever that, we have no representation. Do you back that? This is a pretty big number, and that's going to weigh right into what the IMF is warning us about here. And this is all going to lead to, forget about panic in the financial markets is what the IMF is talking about here, and the World Bank as well. This is leading to crisis, according to the World Bank chief economist, leading to crisis. Duh! If people don't understand that all of this is deliberate. This is absolutely deliberate. And then we get more propaganda as well. What do we know? You and I, again, way ahead of the curve on this. We've been talking about factory activity, manufacturing here in the United States and around the world. Now, it's kind of an interesting phenomenon. So, factory activity here in the United States has been in contraction for 14 consecutive months. Now, just a week or so ago, we got a little piece of information, and this is it. They trying to convince you that factory activity is on the mend. Well, I showed you a chart recently where this has been in free fall. We got a little blip here, and all of a sudden they're trying to sell you a lie. That is that factory and manufacturing activity is on the mend. It's not true. Look at the macro picture. I'm a macro guy. You all know that. Globally, factory activity and manufacturing is in free fall. Now, there's another component to this that you're not supposed to know about here. The cost of raw materials for these factories continues to skyrocket. And what does that mean? Let's put this together real quick. We have an environment where factory and manufacturing is contracting at its fastest pace ever. We have the cost of raw materials rising. Does that sound like an environment conducive to being good for you? How about no? This whole thing, people, is coming apart faster. Things like 100 billion euro fund for more war. Things like the IMF warning. I mean, it's hidden in plain sight. Panic in the financial markets. Crisis. I mean, all the stuff that you and I have been covering forever here. It's hidden in plain freaking sight. Now, let's talk about Actually, we got another piece of information I want to talk about. So, with regard to factory activity and manufacturing, the Eurozone remains in severe contraction. Public debt, here's another piece of information for you, is ballooning, again, at its fastest pace ever, and global debt following the same path. And that's what prompted me to look this up from the IMF's website. Look it up for yourself. It's right there for you and everybody else to see, and the World Bank. Utilize these resources. Now, with regard to this market, look, I know a lot of you think that we're not going to make it through this year. I still believe that central banks, especially the Federal Reserve, in this environment, this is a presidential selection. There will be no election, in case you have any kind of idea that there will be an election. This is not the system that we grew up in, most of us here. Okay, this has been taken over by central banks who have now become the government here. And they're going to put whoever they want behind the resolute desk as a figurehead to keep people divided, to keep people in a state of hatred, because that's how they control the minds of the masses. So, in my view, we're going to make it through this year, despite what the IMF is saying about the panic in the financial markets. Because this is not just about the financial markets, people. You know that. There is going to be pandemonium in the streets. Pandemonium in the streets as resources become... This is going to come down to a resource problem. And that's what they're leading towards here. You understand? Manufacturing, factory activity, everything is shipped via a truck or some other way here. That's all going to stop. You have to understand. We're also going to face a liquidity crisis on a scale that people aren't going to believe. The whole system is going to lock up. And do you think this is by accident? $100 billion Euro fund for war? Do you back this? I want it for my European friends, because this is euros, okay. Of course, it'll be dollars converted as well. But do you back this? Are you all for this? Is this something that you support? Because you have a voice in government, right? You do. And of course, that's what they want you to believe. But we have no voice at all anymore. We have no representation anymore. As I have covered with all of you, we have discussed this to the point of like nauseum for I don't know how freaking long. You really feel like you have representation right now? I don't think any of you do. And as far as I'm concerned, it's gone. It'll stay gone as central banks continue to finish what they started, to become the lenders and buyers of last resort, to find any avenue at all to inflate. Even where's this cash come from? Where does this come from? Do we have it? Is there a nation on earth that has a war chest? They don't. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. But that's what's going on here, and we are being led down a pathway of destruction. And a whole new paradigm, a whole new set of rules, people. Wake up. What are you going to do about it? Bet against the debt. Become your own central bank. You know that already. I've been telling you this for over 10 years. Get together with like-minded people. Most people have no idea what's going on. They don't know where to look to find the information, like the IMF website, the World Bank. They sit there and they are propagandized by... the propaganda ministry. People are glued to their TV. They don't know anything else. And again, it's become a weapon of mass destruction. Seriously, the television, the live vision has become a weapon of mass destruction. I think most of you would agree with me on that. Now, looking over at this market this morning, a couple of things going on. The 10-year yield remains somewhat stable. We got a little tick higher with regard to the dollar on a relative strength basis. There's a little fear here. After yesterday's sell-off in the market, nothing major, about 1.5% across the board with regard to the major averages. Okay, this market needs to fall. We've had like 25 record highs this year alone so far. Market needs to give some back, absolutely, but the Fed's not done in my view. We're going to see a lot more propping up of the system via suppressed rates. And whoever is selected as the next president is going to make sure that the Wall Street fat cats continue to make a lot of cash here. More easy money, suppressed rates, maybe even negative rates, depending if President Trump gets reselected here. He wanted negative rates last time. Maybe he'll get it. And that means you're going to pay the banks to keep your cash in there. Imagine my shock. He also likes a weaker dollar. We're going to see that too. Unfortunately, just get used to this. But that doesn't mean that you can't do something about it. Again, going back to our plan here, staying long the market, abso-freaking-lutely right now. Looking for opportunities to buy this market, abso-freaking-lutely right now. betting against the debt, becoming your own central bank, gaining exposure to commodities, people, all this stuff that you and I have outlined. I mean, it's been the ultimate plan since we started years and years and years ago, and it's not going to change now. All right, look, I think I covered a lot. I want to hear from you about this. The factory activity, manufacturing, I don't think that's a surprise to anyone here. Are you shocked that the truth is hidden in plain sight? The IMF here. Panic in the financial markets, which is the understatement of the year, of the century maybe, because it's not just going to affect the financial markets, it's going to affect every aspect of your life. And I want you to be ready for it from every level, mentally, physically, spiritually, obviously financially as well. All right, people, look, this guy here loves you a lot from the heart. Please comment on these things. Share the video, get it out there, let people hear this stuff. If you found anything interesting, those thumbs up, please give this video a thumbs up. It allows the algorithms to pick it up. People see the video, and I think this information is critical. All right, with that said, I will see all of you later, 4:05 p.m. Eastern for the live stream. We're getting more people there, and I love that. So I will see you later, okay? Take care of yourselves and take care of each other.